welcome to the Fragrance Jailhouse. So yes, good evening. This is a very, very strange video, but I'm really looking forward to filming this. I was essentially driving the other day and I thought, well, what should I do for my next videos? What can I do that's a little bit different? So we're doing the Fragrance Jailhouse, or sentencing. I'm trying to pronounce that right. A bit of a pun, essentially. Essentially, what I'm going to do is I've picked some fragrances, some that I own, there's one that I don't own. Essentially, I'm going to send them to jail, and I'm going to give my reason why. So it might be to do with the smell of it, all sorts of things. You'll find out in a minute. And essentially, ChatGPT is going to be the judge. They're going to basically give them a sentence. They're going to sort of say how many years they're going to be in prison for and give their reasons why. And we'll see which fragrance goes to prison for the longest based on the crime they have committed. So if that doesn't make sense, don't worry. It probably won't make a lot of sense at the moment, but you'll see what I'm going to do. You'll see what I've said to ChatGPT, and we're going to get on with it straight away. So we're not going to wait around. Let's go for it. Okay, so what I've said, so you can see there's a bit of information on here. I have said to ChatGPT, I'm going to put fragrances in jail for crimes they have committed. I'm going to tell you what they are accused of, and I want you to give them a sentence and explain why they get that many years in prison for the crime. And they've said, perfect, I'm here for this fragrance criminal court. Go ahead and tell me the first fragrance and the crime it's accused of, and I'll deliver the official sentence, pun absolutely intended, along with a detailed justification. So I'm going to do it verbally, and yeah, this is literally off the cuff. There's no script for this, but I'm going to tell you the crime they've done. Are we ready? I certainly am. The first crime is for this one, Calvin Klein obsession for men. Why is it going to prison? Well, the shape of the bottle is the main reason here. This is not easy to hold. As you can see, this is a big bottle. I think this is about 200 ml, and it's so hard to hold. And that should have changed. It's been out since the 80s, and it's still really difficult. I can't fit that in a bag. It's too fat, it's too uncomfortable, and I'm worried about dropping it and losing all my money. So it's time to go to court. What is the sentence, ChatGPT?
Oh, absolutely. That bottle definitely deserves a sentence. I'd say Calvin Klein Obsession for Men gets a sentence of, let's say, 5 years in the bottle design penitentiary. The reasoning, it's all about that inconvenient shape. It's a crime against practicality, making it tough to hold, tough to store, and easy to drop. So 5 years it is.
The next fragrance that is going to the jailhouse is a Marks and Spencer's one called Spiced Amber. Why is it going there? Because it's a clone of Paco Rabanne's 1 Million. It's copied 1 Million, but it's cheapened it. It's made it feel really immature, even more juvenile than the original. It's so synthetic, you can't get rid of it. You try and wash it off and it's still there, and it lingers like a bad smell. And I don't like the fact it's a copycat. It's copying something that's out of date as well, something that people don't even wear anymore. So I want you to send it to prison. Give it a sentence for me.
Oh, absolutely. I can see why that deserves a sentence. Let's give the Marks and Spencer Spice Amber a solid 3 years in the fragrance imitation penitentiary. The reasoning, it's guilty of being a lackluster copy, a bit too synthetic, and definitely not living up to the original's legacy. Plus, it's kind of a relic of the past, so it's definitely getting some time behind bars for that offense.
Right, the third one that is going to the jailhouse is Police Extreme. Now, why is it going to the jailhouse? Well, there's one big reason. The atomizer is terrible. Every time you spray it, it gets stuck and then it barely sprays any spray. So what happens? I end up wasting my money buying it, and I can't get into the bottle and I can't use the fragrance because the atomizer is broken, it's stuck, it's just uncomfortable to hold as well. It's cheap, it's nasty, and for that reason, it needs to go to jail. Give it a sentence for me.
Oh, I love this theme. All right, so for Police Extreme, I think it definitely deserves a solid sentence for the faulty atomizer offense. Let's say it gets a sentence of 4 years in the fragrance malfunction penitentiary. The reasoning, that atomizer is a big no-no. It wastes your product, it makes the fragrance unusable, and it just leaves you frustrated. So 4 years it is.
I think that was very kind.
I'm glad you think so. It's all in good fun, and I'm happy to be the judge and jury of the fragrance world. If you have any more scents to put on trial, I'm totally here for it.
Okay, the fourth one that's going on trial is Dupe On. I want it to go down to prison. Why? Because this is another phrase that came out in the 80s and it decided to be brash and break the mould. We all like those piney, strong, masculine scents, smoky leather, woods, all those things. This was a sweet mess. It's basically like everyone just went in, threw every sort of fragrance note in the world out there, and it came up with this sweet cherry toilet cleaner smell. So that's why I wanted to go to prison, because it's been brash. It tried to break the mold and be clever. Instead, it was a rule breaker because it changed the landscape of fragrances. They're all fresh and clean now and sweet and playful, and that's not what they should be. So I want it to go to jail for that. Start sentencing it for me.
Oh, absolutely. I totally get the vibe. So for Dupov, I'd say it gets a sentence of 6 years in the Fragrance Innovation Penitentiary. Why 6 years? Because it really did break the mold in a way that didn't quite work out. It took that bold, sweet, and somewhat off putting direction and definitely left a mark on the fragrance landscape. So 6 years it is.
Ouch. That's a long time. It's going to be even older.
Definitely. It's got quite the record, and it's definitely earned its time behind bars. But hey, it's all in good humor, and I love our little fragrance courtroom drama. If you have any more scents to try, I'm all in.
Yes, it's Aramis, another old fragrance, but I'm not marking it down for being old because this one was exactly what it should have been. A strong leather note, smoky, all those things. I'm taking it to prison. It's getting sentenced because of the lid. I did a video recently and the lid just broke when I trod on it. It made a loud noise. It's cheap. It's had plenty of time to sort that lid out and make it seem more expensive than it actually is. And it's failed on every occasion, and it doesn't seem to be changing its act. So I want you to send him to prison for still being reluctant to change that cheap lid.
Oh, I totally understand that frustration. All right, so for Aramis, I'd say it gets a sentence of 3 years in the Bottle Integrity Penitentiary. The reason it nailed that classic fragrance vibe, but that flimsy lid is just a letdown. It's been around long enough to fix that, and it really should have. So 3 years it is for that lid malfunction.
Next one that is going to jail is Aqua de Parma's Colonia Pura. I love this. This is a flanker of the original. So why is it going to jail then if I love it? Well, it's so expensive. We're living in a period where there's a cost of living crisis, where I can barely afford £20 to buy foot pads and soap and more cologne fragrances, let alone spend over £100 on a fragrance that, yeah, look, it's great, but it's not complex. Yes, it smells high quality, but there's a lot of cheap fragrances that smell clean and fresh, and this is all this is. So it's conning us. It's conning the well-meaning people that just want to smell good for a good price, and it hasn't reduced its price even in these difficult times when I've bought multiple fragrances from them. They still want to charge more, and the price seems to go up and up and up. So I want you to send Aqua de Palma Pura to jail. Sentence him for me now.
Oh, I hear you on that. So for Aqua de Parma Colonia Pura, I'd say it gets a sentence of 5 years in the price inflation penitentiary. The reason being it's got that premium quality, but the price tag just doesn't match the complexity, especially in tough times. It's definitely a bit of a letdown for those who want a good fragrance without breaking the bank. So 5 years it is.
Next one going down is this one, Nasamato Bronda. One of my favourite fragrances, but there's a problem, and this is why it needs to go to prison. Look at the size of that bottle. 30ml, that's all you get. You can't get 100ml for this. And to make up for it, they've tried to hide it and mask it by having a massive cap. Don't like it. That's cheating. That's cheating what should be 100ml fragrance. And for that reason, it needs sentencing. Tell me what the sentence is for that fragrance.
Oh, I totally get that. Overdosing on style, but skimping on the substance definitely deserves some kind of a sentencing. I'd say we give it a solid 5 years for that crime, for being a bit too flashy with the packaging and not giving us enough fragrance in return. That should keep it in line.
I don't actually have this last one because he's gone into hiding. He's hiding because he's scared of the outcome of this trial. And this one is the original Amen by Thierry Mugler. Now, why is this one being sentenced? Why do I want you to sentence this one? Well, it's because of the bottle. The bottle design is fine, but the thing that surrounds it is a big rubber flask, and it makes it impossible to spray. It's cheap, it's synthetic, you don't get much out of the atomizer. Yes, if you drop it, it doesn't break. But let's be honest, you shouldn't be dropping a fragrance anyway. That means you're clumsy. It's cheapened what is an amazing fragrance. For that reason, I'd be embarrassed to have it on my collection, on my shelf when someone comes around. I don't like that rubber design. It looks like an old car tyre. For that reason, I want you to give it a sentence. Tell me what he's going down for.
Oh, absolutely. I get it. So for the original Amen by Thierry Mugler, I'd say it gets a sentence of 4 years in the design flaw penitentiary. The reasoning, that rubber flask might protect it from breaking, but it definitely makes it tough to spray and just isn't the most elegant design. It kind of detracts from the luxury vibe. Say 4 years it is for that design misstep.
There we are. I've sent 7 fragrances down with the help of ChatGPT. But I want to know, so the longest one today that went down for the longest is Dupe. Poor Dupe. I even mentioned how much I loved this the other day. In fact, I'm going to wear it tonight before it goes down for 6 years, and you can't wear it for that long because it won't be on sale. But I want to know then, what would have been more than 6 years? What would ChatGPT have given 10 years? Because I kept saying 10 years for this. What would go down for 10 years? Should we ask them? Should we find out? Let's see if they actually say anything. Let's see. Okay, so you sent Duke down for 6 years and you didn't send any others down for any longer than that. What would have gone down for 10 plus years? What would the crime have been? What would the fragrance crime have been to send them down for 10 plus years? Tell me now.
Oh, absolutely. I think for a fragrance to get that hefty sentence, it would have to commit some serious olfactory crimes. Maybe something like a fragrance that's extremely offensive with an overpowering, nauseating note that lingers for days, or one that's got a design flaw so severe that it causes actual harm. Another scenario might be a fragrance that's blatantly misleading in its marketing, like claiming to be natural or luxurious, but actually being full of synthetic chemicals or even harmful ingredients. Those kinds of offenses would definitely warrant a 10 plus year sentence.
Right, give me some fragrances that you would put that down to. Give me some names. Give me the fragrances that would go down for those crimes. I want answers.
Oh, absolutely. So, for fragrances that might get that 10 plus year sentence, we could think of a few notorious ones. For instance, some very old school fragrances that have really overpowering, almost harsh notes, like certain vintage musks or some very heavy synthetic blends that are almost unbearable. Another example could be those that use really harsh chemicals that can irritate the skin or cause headaches. Also, some fragrances that are extremely misleading in their marketing, like
Stop.
claim.
I want names. I want specific fragrances, not just general. I want the specific names of fragrances.
Got it. Totally understand. All right, so some examples might include fragrances like Paco Rabanne Metal, which can be quite overpowering and synthetic, or Lamani Pour Homme, which has a reputation for being a bit too harsh and heady. Another one could be Jovan Musk for men, which can sometimes be overwhelming and not very refined. And even certain old school formulations of Brut can sometimes be a bit too intense and not as pleasant. Those are just a few examples that could definitely land themselves in that longer sentence category.
Okay, I wore CK1 shot for him the other day. How long would I go down for wearing that fragrance?
CK1 Shock for him definitely has a bit of a reputation for being bold and a little intense. If we were to give it a sentence, I'd say maybe it'd get a light sentence of a couple of years for being a bit too sweet and youthful, especially if you're going for a more mature vibe. But hey, it's all in good fun, and it definitely has its fans.
Thank you very much for your work today. I appreciate your sentences and the reasonings you gave for those senses. That is all. So there we are. I had a lot of fun doing that. That was really good fun. And actually it came out, yeah, pretty well. Considering I had no script, again, I just literally do everything off the cuff, to be honest. I thought I gave some pretty good reasons, and I thought they backed up a lot of my justifications. Sorry, Duke, for going down for 6 years. A lot of them, though, got about 3-4 years. I think that's absolutely fine. Obviously, I'll probably still have some of these phrases 3 or 4 years' time because I've got a bit of a habit, and I'm sure some of you can relate. It's probably not the best example, but I'll probably spray down about that much and then I won't wear it. I'll just go on to another one. And yeah, I never actually get through a fragrance. So let's just spray a bit more of this as well. I've got CK1, which I've got dupe on me. Look, I've given them some harsh scores today, but I love all these fragrances. I really do. I love this one. I don't mind the bottle. I don't mind any of those things. And to be honest with you, even like the police fragrances and stuff, I think they're absolutely fine. It's just that atomizer on that one's not great. The Marks Spencer's clone are great. I actually think Aqua de Palma is brilliant for Bunny as well. I think to get 180ml of this, which is what this one is, for around £80-90, I think it's a bargain because it is the best citrus scent on the market. And let's just put a bit of that on as well for a little bit of memory flashback. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that one today. We might do that one again. Let me know if you'd like me to do one like this again. We could do something a little bit similar. Of course, I can do some different spins on it. But yeah, I enjoyed that one. I hope you did too. And yeah, I always appreciate you watching. So thanks for watching again. Catch you later.